Hey guys, check out these 17 Pokemon cards that I got for cheap. I haven't done a little collection haul video in a while, and this is kind of a mixed set. Some that I got from card shows, some that I bought online. I think it's worthwhile for me to just fire through all of these because at the end, there's some cards that I think are going to be very interesting, and you're going to want to stick around for those. So you can see it's a healthy little stack here with some in bags, some in different top loaders and stuff. So we'll just fire through this stack in this order. I'll give you the prices that I paid for it, what they're typically worth, and why I was able to get good deals on it. The first card we're looking at is this Thunderous here. And if you've watched my channel at all, you've seen my what to buy videos that I do monthly now. And this is a card that I put out in my what to buy in March video, because this is the most expensive card in the Emerging Powers set. You can see down here, Emerging Powers, which is a black and white era set, so pretty old. See the date on here, 2011. So, 15 years old at this point. A near mint one of these allegedly goes for like $30 to $35, and I paid $9 Canadian for it. There's good reason for that. First off, these cards are really not sought after. For being effectively like an ultra rare tier of the set, the Thunderous and Tornadus that are in the set are pretty cheap as the two most expensive cards, like $35 and $25-ish. And the reason I got this for $9 is because it is an MP condition card. You can see in the top right here on the front, that angle right there, there's a bit of a kind of crease / nick, and down here in the bottom as well. Now, going from $35 to $9 is like a pretty crazy jump. Let's maybe show this card off a little bit. It's smooth in all the background, and then his cloud is like textured. And you can kind of end him as well. So the actual Pokemon is textured, with the background being smooth, which is kind of interesting. One of the effectively original style full art cards. Now the back here is a little more chewed up. You can see, especially in that top corner there, clearly it was banged on that corner, and then basically whitening around the whole thing. This is for sure a true MP card, accurately conditioned, but getting this card for $9 I think is a great steal because the front is so much better than the back. Perfect for the type of collecting that I do, which is collection binders. So I have my Emerging Powers binder, and this is going to go in it, and it's going to look good in there. So that was the first great pickup, and again, a card that I had recommended in one of my videos. Now the next one is going to be a little bit of a theme here. The set I'm actively collecting right now, I'm trying to finish, is the original Team Rocket set. We have this Dark Arbok card. Now, Thunderous is a card I bought from eBay for that price, so I was looking for it for a while. A similar thing here with Dark Arbok. I've been trying to get it from a card show for, I'd say, like 4 or 5 months at this point. And these little, this one's a rare, but the less popular rares, non-holo cards are just sometimes hard to find at card shows, especially in my little city. There's not like the biggest of card shows, so there's a lot of the same people, and then, they don't bring these kind of cards. So this Dark Arbok typically goes for, in near mint condition, $9.50 Canadian. Quick aside here, I realize that this picture is showing the first edition Dark Arbok, but that's just a quirk of Pokemon.gg, the tracking app that I use. I'll throw up the picture that shows all the versions just to prove my point, but going forward, it might show the first edition, but I am always showing the correct pricing in these pictures. And I paid $5.60 for it on eBay. It was listed as MP, which I actually think was maybe a little harsh. I can pop it out of the sleeve here. The front of it looks really good. Kind of the key thing that I say maybe why it bumped down to MP from the front is that this corner looks like it was cut weirdly. I don't know if that's from factory or not. Same with this bottom one here, that someone trimmed little bits of whitening off of it or something. Now, I never grade my stuff. They'd probably get dinged pretty hard for something like that in grading, but I really don't care. I think grading is not worth it. On the back, you can see there is some whitening, but it's like LP level of whitening. So I'm wagering it was just because of those nicks. And there's a little bit of dirt here, but I should be able to clean that off. So I'm not too worried about that. For $5.60, I am more than happy to grab this card for my Team Rocket set. I am very close to finishing it. As you'll see, I have a bunch more Team Rocket cards out of these 17. Just an awesome set. Looking forward to finishing it off. Speaking of, here's the Dark Machamp. Now, typically this is an $11.50 Canadian card. And this was another one that I bought off of eBay. I paid $6.40 for it, and I actually think that's a fairly fair price for the condition. Sometimes buying these like less popular cards it's tough to get proper deals on it. So like the $2 to $10-ish range. A lot of the Dark Machamps on eBay were like $10 to $20, and I'm not going to spend that on the non-holo version. I already have the holo version. You can see here at the top, there's a little bit of dirt and a little bit of like a sticky peeling thing that came off. So I should be able to fix that up for the most part, which is kind of a theme of this set of cards here. But otherwise, it looks quite good. Little ticks here and there. The back's not bad. It's kind of like an LP tier back. It was sold as an HP card, and I took a risk on it to see how much of this I could clean. I was hoping it was just dirt, but there is some like actual damage there. I'm not too chuffed about it because it's just the non-holo Dark Machamp. Even if I decided to upgrade it in the future, I'm more than fine doing that. I think this is going to look good in the binder. Once I get rid of the little black dot things, the white part won't show up that much. So I think that's pretty reasonable, which is why I grabbed it. Okay, the next is a double wham here. I'll show them both off. I got these at different times. This one was from a card show. It was actually bundled with another card that I'll show off later. It's an LP. Here comes Team Rocket. This is the non-holo one. So, you know, these classic sets with the holo trainers, and then they had the holo and non-holo version of cards. This is a great LP. It's like pretty close to near mint, I'd say. I'm not sure why he marked it as LP, to be honest, but the price I paid for it kind of reflects that it looks really good. This is a 1470 is the pricing I'm seeing right here. There's a little stuff right here. That's probably why it was knocked down. The edges are really good. I paid $10 flat for it. So not like a crazy cut of the deal here. And that's because it's like kind of a niche card. So he knew he didn't have to go any lower than that. But I felt more than comfortable paying $10 for that. And then we have the holo version of it here, which I'll pop out of the top loader. This one I got from eBay. I kind of like, when I'm collecting a set, I put up save searches for all the cards in it to keep an eye on. This one requires a little bit of cleaning. But this is even since I bought this, the price of it has been going up. Right now it's listed as a $37 card. And I paid, I think, $25 to $27 for it, which is pretty good. You can see it's in solid condition, what I would call an LP card. And I'm looking for LP cards because people seem to undervalue them, and they're great for binders. I'm not grading these like I mentioned. It's kind of a cool card because the holo is like so specific to the background. None of the characters are holo, so it's just a little bit here, a little tiny here, and then around the R. So it's like barely holo. Now, do I like spending 25 plus on a trainer card? No, but vintage trainer cards are kind of interesting. I didn't mind it too much. And then that knocks off 2 more cards of my Team Rocket set. So we're doing pretty well there. Okay, a little break from Team Rocket. This one I find super interesting. So at some point, you know, like 6 to 8 months ago, I went through all of the vintage Wizards of the Coast set with this style, so not the e-reader style cards. And recorded all the rough pricing of things like under $100. And this is one of the cheapest. It's probably top 5 cheapest holo that exists from these vintage sets. So I've kind of been keeping my eye out for. I've been kind of keeping my eye out for it for quite a while. And at the card show, someone had it. Now this $14 is like right on market, and at the time, so I think it's $14.30 right now. And it was pretty much bang on 14 when I had picked it up. I did not pay that for it. Because again, when you go to card shows and you have cash in hand, like I mentioned in my cheap ways to get Pokemon card video, which you should definitely check out. If you do that, you can, you know, chat with the person and get better deals. I bundled this with another card, but effectively what I paid for this was $10. And this person often has a lot of like MP and damage tier cards, which I do like to buy from him because he cuts good deals. But this one was a proper LP. So there's just a little whitening here and a little in the corner. The front looks great. tiny bit of scratching right here and one here. So to cut $4 off felt pretty good to me. In a binder straight on, I think it looked awesome. So if you look at it like this, it's got a cool sparkle effect. Jumpluff is like such a lame Pokemon, but having a Neo Genesis holo rare, I think is really cool. Just some of my favorite sets. It being kind of a lame Pokemon, I find it slightly more intriguing when it's a vintage like that. So super excited about that one. Just gonna put it back on top loader temporarily. Speaking of, we have another Neo Genesis Pokemon with this Azumarill. I'll pull him out early here because it has that pull tab. Now this is one I got on eBay. So I had set up a watch for this because I was kind of salty. There was this guy I was talking to at a card show. Every time I go talk to him, he's like, oh, I haven't priced these in a while. I'm willing to make deals. And every time I'm like, okay, can you knock a couple bucks off of the card? He's like, no, he's never once upheld that, what he said, basically. So I ended up setting up a save search. This card is, at the time it was 27, it says 28 now. He was asking $30 for an LP conditioned Azumarill. I was like, I'll just keep an eye on it and see how much I can beat that by. And I paid $23 for this, which is actually less than what I had offered him for the card. And this one I think is in better condition than the one he was trying to sell. So I'm being a little petty, but this is a card that I liked the look of in the moment, so I wanted to buy it. I love water types in Pokemon cards. The front looks great. There's a kind of one scratch here. Shows up on camera right there, you can see it. Otherwise, it looks really good from the front. There's a little bit of whitening here and here, but effectively a proper LP card. So, $23 isn't like a crazy deal by any means, but that's what happens when you're buying stuff online. I just kind of wanted to see if I could beat his pricing, and I did. I do love a good Neo Gen card. Okay, we're back to Team Rocket. I kept it in this little baggie because the seller included some fun stuff. They threw a little gloom for me, which I thought was cute. Some stickers in here. Yeah, a cheeky Pikachu and a Charizard. Anytime you're buying stuff and people throw in extra goodies like that, it's always nice. This one I got like just the other day, which is why I haven't even pulled it out of the top loader yet. But let's take a closer look now in real time. Now, this is a good example of... Let's take this in the way. This is a good example of having a cheap card, making it more difficult to find. So, like, ideally, you'd find this in someone or some stores, kind of like bulk binder or bins or whatever, and be able to get it for like $1. The card itself isn't even worth $3. $2.80, I think, is the market price for a near mint copy. And I've not been able to find this because it's an uncommon card. Nobody brings it to card shows. All the stores around me are not selling bulk and stuff at this point. I'm not sure why. I think the market's just too crazy for them. Or they just don't have it. I don't know. I don't really know the reason, but I'm basically forced to buy this tier of card online. And no TCG player in Canada, so I got to resort to eBay or Card Trader. And Card Trader just takes so long. Or it's really expensive if I'm just keeping it in Canada. So I bought this on eBay for $3, which is just technically 20 cents more than what it's worth, but that's okay. That's actually a pretty cheap price to get a card, any card from eBay, because there's a minimum price on eBay and shipping. So that $3 was with shipping. So there's a tiny nick out of it here. Shows in camera. So it's what I would call an LP card, which means I overpaid, but for all the reasons that I just said. Anyways, it's cool when they throw stuff like this in. Just wanted to show that off, and a little message on there. Okay, I got a couple modern cards for you, and this one is one that I've been loving for quite some time, since Destined Rivals came out. If you've watched any of my opening videos, anytime I'm opening a Destined Rivals pack, I'm like, oh, this is the card I want. Or I say, this is my favorite card in the whole set. And ideally, I pull the Mewtwo and buy this. Neither of those things happened. or I didn't pull this or any of the cool cards, so I was forced to buy it. I didn't mind. You could see that it was listed at 35, which was the market price at the time. I think it's gone up a little bit. Yeah, it's 38.50 now. I paid $30 for it. So modern cards, harder to make like aggressive deals because they're all going to be near mint condition. Just like this one, it's near mint. But this card is awesome. It's absolutely my favorite card from Destined Rivals. Super happy to get it. My Destined Rivals set is like pretty skimpy, but this is a great way to kick it off with my favorite card. Okay, another modern card, just a cheapie. Phantasmal Flames Ambipom. Anytime I'm at a card show and I see IRs for cheap, I grab them, ones that I don't have. Because, you know, buying a pack and pulling this is like $9 Canadian, and then this was $2. I actually bundled it with a couple other cards, so I probably roughly mathed it out to like $1.70 is what I paid for it. And that's pretty fair. Actually, that's more than fair. Currently, the market price on it is $3. And, you know, this is kind of a cool card, very colorful, looks cool, near mint condition. Not grading it, so this like centering thing doesn't matter. So it's perfect for me and my bindering habit. At the same time, I got the Shedinja, which is a Mega Evo card. This one was listed at $3, and it's a $3.70 market card. And again, I would have spent, you know, like $2.60 on it because it was bundled with a couple other things like the Ambipom. And again, the reasoning that they're selling it cheap is because the center is so bad, not gradable at all. Otherwise, it's good. I'm happy to get cards like that, or cheap. Okay, after a little streak of modern cards, we're back to Team Rocket. This one is one that I got at a card show, which was actually kind of surprising to find this tier of card, as I mentioned. The other ones were not findable. They had it listed at $8.50, and that was pretty fair. It was around that price because I got it a few weeks ago. It looks like it's gone up a little bit to $9.40 right now. I bundled this. Actually, might have been bundled with some of the cheaper cards, but I definitely didn't pay $8.50 for it. I think it was like $6.50 or $7 that I paid for it, which I think is a totally reasonable price. Again, great condition. It's got that like weird cut. It might just be a product of the era because it's the second card. I'd have to go back. I might have a bunch more like this in Team Rocket, where the corners are not like cut evenly. I haven't been watching that closely. Otherwise, it looks great. I'd call this near mint if you don't care about the weird corner cutting, which I do not. So you can see a lot of Team Rocket down there. So my collection, I think I have like 6 cards left, some of which I'll show you. It got me down to that 6. Here's another one. The Dark Hypno. I bought this card with that Team Rocket non-holo trainer card. There was no budging on this price, and I thought that was totally fair. So this card right now's value is $50, and he had it marked LP at $35. This is an LP card. It has a little dirt here, which I'll be able to clean off, like always. The holo is in great condition, and there's just a little whitening here. So definitely LP, but having $15 off from near mint to LP is already fair. I chatted with him a little bit to kind of get the price down. He's like, no, this is totally fair LP, and I 100% agreed. So this plus the Team Rocket card I spent $45 on, and thought that was great. This is a cool card. I like the eye pattern and the weird, you know, checkered effect background. Dark Hypno is cool. That was a good one to get out of the way for the Team Rocket set. Excited about that. Speaking of, here's another. Now this one is kind of interesting. I took a gamble on it. So this one I bought online, and I'll show you the pictures that were in the listing, and you can be the judge here of what happened. They listed it at HP, I believe. I'll double check here when I throw it up in the video. The pictures were straight on. I was like, wow, this looks fantastic for an HP. You can't see anything wrong with it. You can probably already see some stuff that's wrong with it in my camera, but the way they had the pictures, it was hard to tell. The holo looks really good. It's kind of cool with the Team Rocket silhouette there. The back, likewise, also looked solid, especially in the pictures. You can see whitening, but that's like LP tier whitening. So this card goes for $55. and I spent $31. Yeah, it was a bit of a gamble. I paid $31 for it after making a offer to them. In their title, they didn't list any condition, but in the eBay thing, they said ungraded poor, you can see right here. So usually if they do that, that means there is something wrong. So at that price, which is, like 60% of the value, I decided to take the gamble because I liked it, the look of it front on. After getting it, I definitely understood why they said poor, and that's okay. So I took that risk, and there's going to be, the next couple cards will be easy to justify. Yeah, right there immediately. You can see there's a crease, an internal crease, which is pretty rare. So it doesn't go all the way to the edge. Thinking like maybe they tried to repair it, or it just like got squeezed in a weird way. And then there's also, I'm not sure if it's going to focus on it. There's a little crease down here, right there. Yeah. Tiny, tiny crease down here at the bottom. Just crazy, because the card looks so good without those. Like if you look at it straight on like this, you can see it there, but if you look at it straight on, it looks awesome. What I'm going to do, and I'll show you the next two cards because it's going to be very relevant, is I have like 5 to 10 cards now that I've teased fixing. This is going to be one of them. This is going to be a good one because it's just like super minor creasing. It's going to be hard for me to do more damage. So it'll be a good testing ground. I have the really mangled Zygarde. I have like one of those legendary half cards with like the Ho-Ho and Lugia or whatever half cards that is like folded in half, which I didn't even count as part of my collection, but if I can try and repair it to make it look good, I'd throw it in the collection. There's a bunch of cards like that I'm going to try and repair. So that's, a little teaser for my next video that I'm going to try and release in next couple of weeks. I've already got some supplies to start that repairing. And there's a card that I'm super excited about, one of my favorite cards of all time, that I bought for cheap because it has a crease in it. So this and the next card, plus that Dark Magneton, are all cards I'm going to try and put in that video or videos, depending on how long it takes to repair cards. I don't know. I've done just very rudimentary like flattening techniques so far, but I'm going to be doing the full water heat, flattening tier treatment. So the story of this one, again, just chatting with vendors, I saw that they had this for $40, and anytime you see a card like that, this is a card I've been keeping my eye on because it's one of my favorite cards of all time. I love Arcanine, it's my favorite Pokemon. So, there's the Light Arcanine, which is like $300 to $400. There's this Blaines Arcanine. One of my favorites is the Heart Gold Soul Silver Arcanine, which I already have in, near mint condition. $40, I was like, whoa, I'm pretty sure this card is way more expensive than that. And it is, so near mint copy is $125. So right off the bat, that's intriguing. And like at a quick glance in the display case, it didn't look too bad. Obviously, on the top loader it says NP creased, but I knew there was going to be something wrong with it. But at $40, 1/3 the price, it's worth taking a look at. But overall, the card looks awesome. The holo is like really good, just a tiny scratch here behind his head. The edges on the front look awesome. It's all looking pretty good here. The holo effect is really good, really cool. Back, quite good. Some whitening down here. Just a little like kind of bend. It's not even what I call a crease, but a little bit of a bend thing happening here, whitening here. But you probably saw it. There's a crease in the top here. There you go, right there. So I'd wager they already tried to flatten it, but most people aren't trying the full repair treatment. And there's a bunch of people now, YouTube, Instagram, stuff that you can follow them along and see that they're doing like more intense repairing. Like I think Kurt's Card Care is one that I've watched a bunch of. He does more than just Pokemon stuff, but his techniques should make this way less noticeable. It's already like pretty minor, which is why even if I can't repair it, I'm super happy to get this card at 1/3 the price. I'm wagering I can turn this from like this damage tier to an HP at worst, even with my no skill repairing. So I feel very confident that I can get, or I already feel like it's a great value pickup at $40. Sorry, I should mention, I didn't even pay $40. I think I chatted with him. This was like 6 weeks ago now. If I'm not mistaken, I paid $25 for this. Because I told him it was my favorite. one of my favorite cards. We were just chatting about it. A lot of times they have, vendors have trouble selling crease cards. It's slightly easier with vintage stuff, but you're definitely not selling like a crease midi or a modern card. Yeah, he cut me a deal. I think I paid 20, was either 25 or 30, which, great deal. And I'm super excited about this and trying to fix it a little bit. You definitely want to stick around for that. Same story for this next one. This is actually a different vendor, but the exact same kind of discussion happened. I saw this card in their display case. I was like, wait a sec. I had just looked at this gym. I don't remember. One is like Gym Challenge, Gym Heroes. I never remember which is which. I was just looking at the market of that stuff. So I was like, oh, Rocket's Moltres I know is like right in the same vein. They had it for $65, which isn't like a crazy good deal necessarily. It's $95 near mint. They had it for $65. It didn't have any markings of condition on it. So I was like, oh, can I take a look? And like, we both looked at it together. There's like a pretty good crease in here. Let me pop it out and I'll show you. Cool card, pretty bad crease. There's also one on this side. This little one really just goes through the yellow. Little ding in the bottom here. Definitely like proper HP to damage tier card. So $65, it wouldn't be worth it at all. But he was saying he had this for a while. Nobody wants to buy cards like this necessarily. I do. There's definitely people that do. And I was like, oh, I'll give it to you, I'll buy it for like $25. He double checked what he paid for it, and it was, I think, $25. So I said, all right, I'll give you 30. So I went from, I didn't even say that, he said that. He's like, just give me 30 so I make $5 off of it. So I went from $65 to $30. So again, down to 1/3 the price of a near mint card. And normally I don't like buying cards with creases, but I really want to try repairing some of these because I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be cool. And I think if it works, it's going to be a way to get a lot of cards for way cheaper. So cards that look pretty good overall, that just have a crease, that not like, there's not material taken away. This one, best case scenario, it will be like an MP because of the whitening, but get rid of these creases. It's got a cool swirl right here by the wing. Just a cool card. Super excited to give that a shot. And if I fail, it's just $30 wasted. I can always get a better condition Rocket's Moltres. Okay, we're on to the last card. And this is another Team Rocket card. And one of the big kahunas. So this card is kind of skyrocketing in price. Not skyrocketing, but it's just been like steady climbing ever since I started trying to complete Team Rocket. Right now, a near mint copy of these is like almost $240. There's a range of cards from like the $150 to $240-ish on eBay, but I really don't want to spend that on any singular card. I like to try and buy my time and find deals. I decided to get one that was slightly less conditioned. So I spent $107 on this. So less than half of the current near mint value. And this was rated in the listing as HP+. I actually think that's pretty fair. Normally I wouldn't buy an HP tier card from eBay like this unless I was intending to repair it. There's no creases on it, so it's nothing to really repair. It's kind of just, well loved. So it's definitely like an HP-ish card. You can see how much whitening there is, especially on the back here. It's basically the whole back, and this bottom corner especially is bad. I think the front looks pretty good. At the top here is probably the worst. The corner is a little beat up. The reason I liked it so much is that the holo and the main focus of the card just looked really good to me. And less than half of the cost. I felt pretty good about grabbing this one. I'm going to try and do some repairing to this. Like flatten this little corner down. But repairing should never mean like coloring in. I would never do that. I don't think anyone should. Flattening, heating out creases, I think are good things to do. Not if you're trying to, I should add a huge caveat to this. I'm repairing cards for my own collection, not to sell. So I don't think you should be dishonest about doing something like that. I would never like try and pull this crease out and then sell it as a, you know, LP card. I'm pulling this crease out so that it looks good in my binder. If you do that and then tell the person, hey, I did some repairing on this, I think it looks really good now, all the power to you. I don't think you should like sneaky hide things. And, you know, most grading companies will catch those things. Though, you know, a lot of them, like, you know, PSA will reject it as altered, especially if you're recutting, coloring in edges, stuff like that. So you don't want to be doing that. Yeah, I mean, this was like a pretty sweet haul of cards that I picked up eBay, a couple card shows in there. Just a great mix of things here that I'm very excited about. There's, you know, 3 cards in here that I'm going to try and repair for sure in the next video. So make sure you stay tuned and follow along for that, because if it works, then I think it's going to be, you know, a bit of a game changer for collecting vintage stuff. All right, I appreciate it. Thank you for watching. And like I mentioned, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that other video. I got lots of other stuff on the go. I have so many videos that I'm like partway done creating of all kinds of different things, like using my 1250 card binder. So you're not going to want to miss those. Thanks for watching.